Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show and another episode of White Rose Rivals. We're pretty thin on the ground. We've got a few people that are late, a few people that have turned it in.
That's just our hair, mate.
Yeah. But you got the main, you got the main players, the biggest teams in the league in terms of league position as well. So, yeah, it's all good, isn't it? So smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in, hit the notification bell, all that jazz. There is only 2 at the morning, Ethan, but there will be more. It's nice to see all of you in the chat. I will ask you where have you been on my FIFA streams, because I've told you international break is rough and you're all here now. Where were you earlier on? You know what I mean? Help me out. Otherwise, I won't be eating for a month. So sort it out. How was your holiday, my man?
Yeah, good. And international break, when the season's just started, who organised that? Not a great look, but the big one, San Marino Liechtenstein, is on tonight, and that is going to be most likely a 0-0 draw.
Yeah. Do they still celebrate if they score a goal, San Marino? I assume they do, right?
Last time San Marino won was against Liechtenstein, and last time Liechtenstein won was against San Marino. So this is going to be, and that was, I don't know, I haven't read the stats, but it'd been a long time ago. And I've been to San Marino on holiday, and everyone was lovely. So I'm back in San Marino.
Nice. I like that. Yeah. Do you think, had you have been born in San Marino, you might have been pulling on the San Marino international shirt tonight?
Oh, great shout. I mean, well, a couple of things to focus on there. One, I'm quite old now. 2, I'm very bad at football. And I think even the San Marinese would have, and I think that's what it is, would have looked at me and said, do you know what? We'll play with 10. We'll play with 10 tonight. I don't want to bang on too much. I've got something on my foot, and I've had the dermatologist look at it today. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Maybe it might help with the curvature of the ball. You know, like when you got the Adidas Predators with the bobbles on. Maybe it might help with your.
You think dermatitis is going to help with a free kick? Yeah. Not sure if I've heard that before, but hey. It might work. This is what the people have come for. Just Hal, just Joe, dermatitis chats.
Exactly. Well, it's known like David Beckham was riddled with dermatitis, so maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
I love how you drop in that it is known. It's like Game of Thrones. I've also just been to a football match because I'm in Cyprus and it's much later here. It's already dark. My throat is going because I have been shouting and singing for 90 minutes because obviously I'm part of the ultras for my local club. And it is just insane. We never stop singing, and my hand is absolutely aching from banging the drum. It's good fun.
Do you not have any video? Do you not put any content out?
No, because the local team wear blue and white.
Wow. Okay.
That would kill my brand.
Really, yeah. You should start a little offshoot channel. I think maybe.
Yeah.
I was going to say with some glasses and a tash, but you wear glasses and a tash, so yeah.
These are about to go, I've got contact lenses, so very soon, sans glasses. But the only reason I support this team is obviously the local team is literally walking distance from where I've decided to live. I had no idea they wore blue and white. I was gutted when I first went along. But then I thought, do you know what? I hate Sheffield Wednesday. And I'd just like to repeat that. I hate Sheffield Wednesday, but I don't hate the colour white. I don't hate the colour blue. Half of Sheffield United's shirt contains one of those colours. So I'm not going to be that silly to cut my nose off to spite my face and not go and watch some local live football. So I go to all their games. It's got to be done.
Right, man. Yeah, exactly. Talking to Sheffield Wednesday, Ash should be with us shortly, but Tom's here now. Tom's here, the Hull City fan. Well, welcome, Tom. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Sorry about that. I didn't get back on it first.
Don't worry, mate. It's all right. Me and Hal have just been chatting absolute rubbish, really, to be fair. Just filling the dead air. Maybe Hal can get me a spot on the radio. You know what I mean?
It's that dermatitis chat that I think people want, and we might bring that back in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Is anyone else coming?
Yeah, Ash should be with us as well.
Nice.
Because I do want to get you both here, because obviously since we were last on the show, Leeds United beat you both 2-0. So we will get into that, of course.
Yeah.
But I was just going to ask Cal, because we're talking Sheffield Wednesday. Are you surprised at how poor not poor, but they've not been going great after that initial win against Rooney's Plymouth, have they?
But I think they've had 1 win, 1 draw, 2 loss, haven't they, or something? Is that what they've had?
Yeah. It's not going great, is it?
No, I was thinking that as well. Like
Roll.
Danny Roll. That's what I'm saying. I had him as an outside pick.
Well, they could still be. It's very, very early biscuits. You know what? The season, this kind of formation.
I thought they drew one, but
it does require everyone to buy in, doesn't it? It does require everyone to be on the same page, and I can imagine it really is a formation that needs a lot of work in pre-season. Who knows? Brought new players in. Maybe it's taking a little time to gel. They probably will be absolutely fine. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I didn't say that on my predictions, but I do think they'll finish strong, and they'll probably finish sort of 8th or 9th.
He's a bit of breaking news for any Leeds fans watching. I assume a lot of you are. CSKA Sofia have reached an agreement with Leeds United legend Liam Cooper. So he's gonna. This is according to Bulgarian Telegraph. Tom, are you gutted about this news? Because I think Ant was it you or Ant that was fuming? I think it was probably Ant. Ant was raging that there was a potential that Liam.
Oh, it was. I was on the other side. I was on the same side of that fence. I didn't want him at all at the club really. I think he was going to command a high wage, but he didn't necessarily deserve it. I think he's a bottom half champ player now, maybe even top end League One. I think he's still a championship level player, but. Obviously, from what Leeds fans were saying as well, it's slow. Like,
not from my mouth. Not from my mouth. He's my legend. Is Liam Cooper.
He's like He's like 33 now as well. Come on in a high wage. I don't think he'd bring much to an already experienced defence anyway. So yeah. Plus we've got Charlie Hughes to still play. He's not played a game yet. I think perfect time international break, bed him in, and then I think he'll start Sheffield United obviously on Friday night. Hopefully.
Is that the next game? Oh, so you've just they're quite early, these Yorkshire little rivalry games we've got going on, these Yorkshire Derby games. I can't wait to play Sheffield United, to be fair. It's gonna be a good one, especially over this Hamer chat and the Wilder stuff, and he started calling us Mickey Mouse and all that sort of stuff. Hal. He's very good at Wilder at stoking it up, giving it a little bit of bite, and he really dislikes Leeds United, doesn't he? Before we get into last week's games and what's next, we've got to talk about the transfer window, Hal, and Leeds' failed bid for Gus Hamer.
Yeah, it was a real bid. They bid once, 13 million. It was rejected. I expect them to come back in again. I think the club did. They didn't. You might have heard rumours about a swap deal with Peru. I think that's all nonsense. Wasn't it your end was rebuffed as well, Joe?
Yeah, we've been told it's rubbish as well. I think it came from Sheffield originally, but hey,
who knows where it originally came from? But yeah, I'm not having that. And just one of those where I think it was an unusual bid, 13 million, when you had it already out in the public eye that he had a previous release clause that was higher than that had expired. So surely all you'd know is whatever the fee is, it has to be higher than that. So going in so low, and it's 6 million lower, something like that. You've really got no chance. And then to not come in again, I don't know if it was just as Wilder was saying, to unsettle the player. And then there was a report from the Netherlands that he had agreed personal terms. That wasn't true. I know that got retweeted a lot and gained quite a lot of traction. There's absolutely no truth in that whatsoever.
I remember someone sending me a picture of him on a golf course with a couple of Sheffield United players, and I was like, what's he doing? Why ain't he at for patch? You know what I mean?
Because it wasn't true.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm making. Yeah, I don't know about you lads, but during the transfer window, sometimes I get tagged in tweets and I'll look at the person who's tweeted, the tweeter, and they'll have like 60 followers and they're based somewhere and they've and you just go, come on, man.
An account called like Transfer Centre 9 or something like that.
Oh, that's a very, very bad one, isn't it? That is an actual existing account and it's full of nonsense. I don't like to block, but I've muted pretty much all of the ones that you knew were just on school holidays.
Yeah,
16-year-olds, they've bored, aren't they?
Yeah. It's mad. Some of them managed to build massive followings on the back.
The thing is, there was one as well with us. I don't know if I think it was a whole fan behind it. And obviously, our correspondent for Relive is called Baz Cooper, and someone made like an account called like Kaz Booper or something, and there was like people falling for it, saying that we would bid like for Edin Dzeko, who was like 37, saying that we've got to get him on loan with an option to buy for 7 million. Like, we're going to pay 7 million for a 38-year-old. And there's like loads of people believing it. Like, we're just posting it in the fans forum. saying, "Oh, what do you think to this?" and stuff like that. It's like, how are you believing this?
I tell you what was a nice story though. The There We Land lad who got a bit.
I saw it.
Someone tried to take the piss out of him, although he said he didn't try to take the piss out of him, but he definitely did. And then there was loads, and then he ended up on Sky, didn't he, man? I thought that was a good news story. Did you see the lassie who said "twist me nips"?
Yeah, that's whole
She's
city.
Hull City, bro. Yeah. She was at Ellen Road, actually.
Yeah, she was at the game, yeah, that Elsa. Yeah.
She was, yeah.
When I first saw her account, I thought she was fake. I just didn't think
mad.
there was like a Hull fan that was that good looking, to be honest. And she's turned up well and good.
Do them women? Well, she's not. Well, not that I've
clip that.
Or anything.
Clip that. I didn't know there was Hull fans that were that good looking.
That's about my own fan base.
Honestly, you come to Cyprus and just walk around for 10 minutes, and some of the most attractive people you've ever seen, like this lady you're talking about, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
The women here are absolutely stunning and really, truly beautiful women. And I'm saying that largely because my wife is Greek Cypriot.
I love that. Yeah, Twist My Nips is a beauty. I've also enjoyed the Ivan, you're Tony. I don't know if you've seen that.
Well, I'm not saying
Tony,
that chant,
Tony.
That chant is terrible, but for, what is it, 400k a week, I'll sing along to anything.
100%. 100%. It's so funny. Yeah, man. I tell you what, actually, Stephen Elzati. You've got him on a free, have you? I read something this morning.
It was reported by I think Sasha Tavalieri.
Yeah.
Last night, I was buzzing with that, to be fair, seeing that. We've got a lot of midfielders, but he's obviously played well for Brighton. I think he was highly rated there, and then so hopefully do well for us.
There's a couple of lads that come on my show, Andrea and Lockie, and they're quite very data driven and look at players and have quite a wealth of knowledge. That's why I get them on, because I ain't got Scooby Doo. Do you know what I mean? And they were all over Elzati saying Leeds United should sign him.
Yeah, I mean, there was that Mohamed Baloumi. I think, I swear Leeds were in front, and we got him.
That's another one. Baloumi. You do well in the transfer window, don't you? Hull City.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, we've got the players in now. I think what we're disappointed is that we brought in a third goalkeeper. That I could arguably start like Carl Rushworth, who's a very good goalkeeper. But we've already signed with Choppy, and we've already got Panda as well as like three options. Yeah. So like someone's going to be annoyed that they're not going to be in the squad. But then
surely you bring in Rushworth to start, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we've only got two strikers, Chris Bedia and Bairster, so that's where fans are annoyed that Adjun was saying, "Oh, we're going to get a big name striker in." All the ones we tried to sign, obviously we didn't get over the line, and then in the end we've ended up with just Bedia and Bairster. And we don't think they're capable of scoring enough goals. I mean, obviously we saw Bairster.
I rated the number 9 though, Tom. Again,
that Bedia did well against you. Like, I think we're feeding off scraps a bit. I mean, they had that chance as well. Obviously, Besley saved it, but
which is a rare thing. Which is a rare thing, to be fair, mate. So I thought Liam Miller was good as well. I really like Liam.
Yeah, I think the problem with him so far has not been. I think everything up to the final ball, I think that's what's letting him down a little bit. But I think hopefully they can step it up a bit.
Are you happy with your transfer business overall then? Now the window's shut, glad it's done, Tom? Yeah, all good?
I think, I won't say I was happy. I think I'm content, but I think there's areas that needed addressing a lot, and we didn't, as in like adding an actual goal scoring. Like, obviously we lost Liam Lapp, I know he was on loan, but then we've not replaced him. Like, the goals that have gone, really, I don't think. But I like what we've done with the midfield, like transformed it around, and obviously, like the signing Charlie Hughes to replace Greaves as well. So I think there's good parts.
What about the Turkish lad in midfield as well? Umar, was he there last season?
He joined in January. I was the one that was saying you got to look at him, but so far this season he's not been very good. To be fair, like he's better.
He was all right against Leeds, though. I thought he was.
I think he's better as an attacking mid, but he's been playing off the right a little bit. So,
nice. What about you, Hal? Because before your game against Watford. It was on Sunday. I was doing the Premier League games, but I had a look at your lineup. Really impressed with the first 11. But if you get some injuries, it's going to be tough. Now, you might tell me different because you'll have a better working knowledge of that bench. But
one of the players. Shaq. Yeah, he looked good.
Again, did he?
He looked good. First thing he did, Joe, nutmegged a lad, ran round him, put a cross in. Ooh, wheels for feet. Was I excited? Yes.
But tell me about your squad overall, because I think it's looking light. Were you happy with your business?
Strap in, put your seatbelt on, your big boy pants, get ready, open your ears to receive and absorb this information. In goal, Michael Cooper. He is so super. quality keeper. Cooper is going to be our number one. He's better than anyone else in the league. I won't have it. He's going to be our number one for the next 20, 50 years. He's the next Alan Kelly. Really excited about him. Gilchrist, Alfie Gilchrist. He's played in the Premier League for Chelsea, right? Quality. If he gets injured, we've got Jamie Shackleton, who's very, very good. If he gets injured, we've got Femi Sariki, who's a future right back that will probably go on and do pretty well. I'd imagine long term he'll have probably a decent League One level career, so not bad in that third place slot for right back. Left back Harrison Burrows, one of the best players in League One last season. Every team, including Leeds, would have been interested in signing him. Scores pens, can score from open play. Yeah, absolutely quality, set pieces, everything about him. So we're happy with him. Harry Suter, I think he didn't have a great game today for Australia, although I've been out, so I'm just reading. I didn't actually watch it. Anel Ahmedhodzic, linked with Napoli not so long ago. Jack Robinson, our player of the season. Quality at the back. You are right, though, Joe. I could keep going, but it's going to get boring. Yeah. My point being, we haven't got the depth. You are correct, but our first 11, I think is good enough to win the league. But we've got youngsters, and that's probably where it gets exciting. If we do get injuries, we throw another youngster in, and we go, we're not really that familiar, but Sidney Peck looked very good when we gave him a chance. We didn't know too much about him. Louis Marsh looks a decent player. Hampson looks.
Didn't that Peck go to Rotherham? I thought it was.
Wrexham wanted Louis Marsh, I think, on loan.
All of them were wanted, but none of them have gone. So we've still got them. We've got Ryan One, who we brought in from Hamilton Academicals, and that's a sign, isn't it? Get every striker you can think of that's played for Hamilton. They've all gone on to be world beaters, but he will be. He's very exciting. So we got lots of youth to back up if our first team gets injured, and of course, if Kiefer Moore gets hurt, we've got Mr. Goals himself, Rhian Brewster.
Oh God, there you go. Very similar profile as well of striker, aren't they? You can see why you would have.
Yeah, I actually said something quite mean on Twitter, which isn't really like me. When we subbed Kiefer Moore off, I said it's and then brought Rhian Brewster on. It's like replacing an order from Temu with an order from Wish.
It's true, man.
That's what I thought. Brewster was like, what's the consensus of like Sheffield United fans? Do they still think he's gonna have a good career at Sheffield United, or do you think it's just like injuries that have let him down? Or
I think an ability. I think everyone's everyone's completely given up on him. I haven't. I think this is a common trope, but he's a really nice lad, and he is.
He gets it.
He gets it. He knows what it's all about. Get in the mixer. He'll see what he can do. Yeah, it's just not worked out for him. I played really well last season at Wolves away, but it's few and far between.
How much did you pay for him, Hal?
Don't ask questions like that.
No, what was it? 18 or something or more?
I wish it was 18. You know what? It was a different time. Money was floating about. We'd finished 9th in the Premier League. Everything was rosy. The future looked bright. I hadn't seen Cats the musical, but things have changed since then. And what I might say now,
by the way,
no, it's not.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, 23. I think it was £23 million.
23
or 22 or 22.5. It doesn't matter because we haven't really paid for it fully yet. Could he not
have a Dominic Solanke vibe, or is he more like, because Solanke went to Bournemouth and didn't really do out for a bit, and now he's at Spurs, or has that ship sailed now?
The only comparison with Solanke is he is so lanky, but there is no actual comparison. Brewster is a player that on paper, he looks like a footballer. He's got all the attributes to be a quality striker. In the Liverpool youth setup, he just scored goal after goal. Yeah. And all his friends are famous celebrities. It's perfect. It's the recipe for a player that ends up going on to Monaco. But it hasn't worked for whatever reason. Sometimes just to change your scenery. When he was at Swansea on loan, he scored a goal every other game. Or if you're Ine Aluko, a goal every game.
That is underrated. That was brilliant. That was so good, mate. Sorry. Yeah, it's not worked out for him, has it? So what happens then? When does his contract run out? Will he just be allowed to leave on a free?
When does his contract run out? I think it's the end of this season. I think it was extended, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a contracts guy, not a numbers guy. I'm not in the boardroom. If I was, Joe, can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine? If I'd been given the purse strings when Sheffield United finished 9th, we'd have won the World Cup by now.
I know that feeling, mate. If we'd have just backed Bielsa when we got 9th instead of bringing him shit, then we'd still be in that bloody division. But hey ho,
he grew like over 100 mil, didn't he? Jesse Marsh on rubbish. Really.
Just shite, mate.
Really,
really bad, honestly. We signed half at USMNT team, Weston McKennie and all that sort of stuff. Honestly, bang average footballer in, by the way. How he's just got a contract extension at Juve, I don't know.
I don't know.
Tyler Adams was good, very good. Brendan, he wasn't built for the Premier League, but Jesse Marsh beasted him, so expected him to play every single minute of every bloody game. Not a good time, mate. Not a good time. The worst part was that we were told he was going to be a succession to Bielsa, and you couldn't get a manager further from him if you tried, poor. But in terms of this season and this season's transfer window, still wanted a 10. The manager wanted a 10. We could have done, I mean, for me, when you consider how much we brought in and the players that we sold, they should have pushed the envelope. They should have pushed the envelope that little bit further, because if you bring us a Hamer, if you bring us a Salai, that type of player gets you over the line in terms of what we need. Now, Brendan Aronson's doing very well there, but that's all we have in that number 10 role. So
you don't really like Pirro, do you? Like, he's not really like a 10, is he? He's more of a...
No. I don't know what he is. I think Pirro said he was the other day a 9.5. I think that's what he said, a 9.5. Yeah, I think that's what he'd said. Farke called him more of a support striker, but the way Farke wants his 10 to operate is to really be picking it up deep and then getting it upfield, whereas Pirro doesn't have that in his locker. But Pirro did score against yourselves, and when he's in that position, Tom, when that ball went round for Firpo, he's one player on that pitch where I don't go, please score. I know it's going in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? He's just a deadly finisher, and I just wish we could engineer it so that he's in that position more. But when we start with our 11, he's no good in building up. His touch is terrible. He needs to be on the edge of the box, bang, cutbacks and whatnot. But I think
it worked to your hands, I think, because we tried to push a bit forward more, so obviously more space and that. But that's probably why he's good as a super sub, because obviously if you're going for the jugular, there's going to be space for him to get him behind, isn't there? So he'll probably get a chance to score. But starting, he's not. I think you need more like creative players at Silky, like Aronson in there, probably.
100%. What did you make to Leeds United then, Tom? Because obviously you got first-hand look at Leeds United after the window. We had Solomon starting on left wing, who gave Coyle a very tough game.
I think I'd say Coyle's one of the best 1v1 defenders in the division. I think it's really hard to beat. That's why he starts, why he's captain. I think he leads by example. I think that was a good battle. But from my point of view, I think obviously Leeds came out of the blocks fine to first 25 minutes, and then we grew into the game, and we had to take on them chances in that 20-minute period where we was on top. I think Leeds didn't take the chances when they had good openings inside the first 25, and I think obviously when you're playing at Ellen Road and the crowd, I think at first obviously on the side, and then I think when you go 25 minutes without taking your chance, I think that's when we grew in confidence. But we just didn't take our chances, and when the half chances we had really, and it was quite wasteful. So I think in the second half, obviously Leeds grew in confidence, and then it was obviously got dominated a little bit, to be fair. And I think 2-0 was probably a fair result. I mean, would I like to probably nick a goal, but we've obviously struggled to score this season. I mean, we've scored 1 goal from open play in 4 games, which doesn't make for good reading. But I'm hoping that once, obviously, the new wingers, obviously we've got Abu Kamara. I was really pleased with that on deadline day from Norwich. I think that's a really good signing. I mean, 10 goals, 11 assists last season. Portsmouth, they really wanted him back. I think he'll fit right nicely into that right wing role. I think he'll add a bit more creativity, a bit more pace, transition. I mean, that's what we're lacking a bit. And I think I wasn't too disheartened by the performance. I felt we looked much better, but obviously against Leeds, it's always going to be tough to come away from there. I think getting a draw there would have been amazing, but I want to be.
Yeah. What do you make to Leeds United having got a look at them, mate? Because I wanted to get.
I still think you'll get autos. I think. I see. Obviously, Sunderland have started like a house on fire. I do think they'll drop off, but I did predict them to get playoffs, so I do think that they will. But I do think Leeds will still get autos.
Yeah. Hal, you played Watford. It all kicked off at the end, didn't it? What was the story there?
Yeah, we gave them what for. Daniel Jebison came back against his old club, got it all in amongst it. As soon as he came on, you could see. I don't know what went off, but
did he go on loan to Watford from Bournemouth?
No, he's gone to Bournemouth, and then he's gone on loan to Watford from Bournemouth. Yeah, so not directly from us. And we don't know really what's gone off, but the players that used to play with him didn't want to shake his hand, didn't seem to welcome him back, went in a bit hard on him. It was all a bit strange. And then he kicked off a little bit. There was another one of their players called B-A-A-H, and he was kicking off as well and throwing hands at one point. And it was all a bit silly. I was trying to work out what was happening, who was doing what. The ref really lost control of that game. You know when a ref loses the game at about 70 minutes and you just know there's going to be that ignition and something's going to spark at some point. And it was all a load of nothing, but it did spark when it didn't need to. It was a game that wasn't particularly malicious or dirty, and then suddenly had a big fight at the end, which was good because it wasn't a particularly entertaining game. We did the damage in the first minute, and that was it. And then we just controlled the game, and at no point did it ever look like Watford were going to score.
So, obviously, you're below us in the table, though, right? You had that.
Well, we should be. Yeah, we should be level.
Yeah, you had that. You had that -2. How are you feeling then? Like, are you still confident? You mentioned earlier you still think you could win the league.
Yeah, I mean, we threw away a win at home against QPR. We were absolutely cruising in that game. Should have easily been game over. We were 2-0 up at half-time, and I don't know what happened at half-time. Sometimes you see teams come out second half and look like a totally different side, and we did, and that was poor. And we saw a few mistakes from some of our newer players who were just getting used to things, and we have had a rebuild. It's been the first time for a long time. It's been the same Sheffield United side for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of players have gone. Your John Flex, your John Egans, your Wes Fotheringhams, your Ollie McBurneys, your Billy Sharps. I won't keep going. Billy left us a little bit before anyway. But it's a big change.
City, man. He rocked up at City last season.
Briefly. Yeah. So, it's a bit of a change. And it's taken some time. And QPR was a shocker. And we should have won. And had we won, I'd be very, very confident sat here saying, I think we'll win the league. And you'd also be agreeing with me. It doesn't look as confident as a thing to say at the moment, but I'm sure. And we've got some good fixtures coming up. I'm looking at the next 5 and I'm thinking, I believe in our boys. I'm just a little bit worried about where goals are going to come from.
Kiefer Moore, has he got off the mark yet? He missed a penalty,
He's got
didn't he?
one, but he missed a pen. It was a bad pen. He's missed a few in his career. I looked it up afterwards on Transfermarkt. He actually missed one against our former player, Dean Henderson, when Hendo was on loan at Shrewsbury and Moore was playing for Rotherham, and he missed one and Henderson saved it. And this time it was a penalty that was telegraphed and it was soft. He did put it right in the corner, but when it's obvious where it's going to go, any keeper worth his salt, and Daniel Bachman Turner overdrive he's going to save it. And he did. And it was a shame. I think if he gets 1 or 2 in a game, he'll probably kick on. But he's not actually looked like the Kiefer Moore that I think we all know, and the things that we know he's good at, like winning the flick-ons and holding the ball up. That's actually what he hasn't done that well. And he's done some of the other side, like some of his defensive side of his game has been very good.
I wasn't too disheartened when we didn't get him, because I know it was us and obviously Sheffield United it was like, I think we was close to sign him, and then he chose to go to Sheffield United. I don't know if it was it was to do with like his family, I think, but I wasn't too disheartened when we didn't get him, mainly because obviously the high wage, his age as well. I mean, he's obviously proven goal scorer at this level, but I think I wanted someone more for like the long term rather than someone that's going to cost a lot for short. Yeah.
So did I. And the family one was a strange one because he said he wanted to, for family reasons, move to Yorkshire, but Hull's in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
So I was confused at that one. And I think the truth is Sheffield United offered him more years.
Oh yeah, because I think he wanted security. I think we was probably going to offer him like 2 years.
And so maybe it's true then when he says family, what he means is security for my family.
Yeah. I think that's
geography. Yeah.
I'm glad, that because obviously 32, I didn't really want to offer him more than 2 years, I think. But,
yeah, 3 years for a 32-year-old when your hope is to be in the Premier League next season. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he's obviously not a Prem player, so if you do want to go up and you just know he's going to be just sat there on, obviously he's probably got a wage, probably like a 30% increase if you go up as well, so he's going to be sat there at like what, 50k a week wages or something. 40
yeah, I think you're right. But one thing I will say about Kiefer Moore is one thing he's shown throughout his career, he is a super sub. So maybe in the Prem, you're a goal down, you're trying to chase it late on, you're just pumping it in the mixer. If they still do that in the Premier League,
I think and that's what it should be now. I think for you, I think you ideally should have added another like a top champion striker, and then he should be coming off the bench. But that's probably where you didn't invest enough in the window. I think everywhere else was a really good business, I felt. But
yeah, we're strong everywhere else. Left wing, we're playing Gus Harmer on the left wing, and I'm not sure that is his best. When I say I'm not sure, I am sure it's not his best
It's
position.
the box, really.
Yeah, he keeps moving in. He constantly keeps moving in. Last game, he ran across the whole pitch just to end up on the right-hand side because he clearly wanted to be there. And then that leaves us completely empty on the left. So he's not a left wing, and we haven't got a left wing answer. Maybe we will in January. I think if Kiefer Moore doesn't start scoring regularly, and I've already mentioned we're not going to rely on Ryan Brewster, I'd love to assign someone like Tom Cannon.
What happened there with Cannon? Where did he end up, or did he stay at Leicester?
Went
Stoke,
yeah.
Stoke, I want to say.
I think did they get one loan in the end? Was it loan?
As soon as I heard he wasn't coming to us, I switched off. I haven't looked.
He was linked as well. I think we bid 5 million, but then it was rumoured that Leicester wanted 10, which was ridiculous. I was
talking to our good friend Locks about Tom Cannon, and we had everything lined up, ready to do a fantastic video together. And I wanted to do a video with Locks again, and I'd have put my L'Occitane just for him, but it wasn't meant to be. So it's a shame. Yeah. Maybe something will happen in Jan with a different former or current Leicester player, and I can get Locks on the channel.
Yeah, maybe we shall have to wait and see if that happens, mate. I don't know where I was going to go now. Really? Oh, that was it in my mind, just off the top of it. What did you make to Birmingham City's wild spending? It's crazy.
That was ridiculous. 13 million was it for Stansfield?
Yeah. With add-ons if they get promoted and then extra. I was thinking
9 million up front or something.
Mental. Silva didn't even want him to go apparently, and I just think
I don't think he's not worth the money.
That money, that money is wild, isn't it? It's a lot of money.
Never seen out like it in League One.
As I was saying, I wouldn't have minded him on loan as a backup, and then he's gone there for like 15 million.
I said the same, Joe. I said the same for us. I think he's good. I think he's a good striker, and his backstory is a good story, and you want him to do well. But that kind of money, wow, it's crazy. And you just think it wasn't even that long ago that was still big money in the Championship, and back in '96 that was big money in the Premier League, and we're not that far away from these sorts of times.
Like 12 mil for Sambolonga that years ago. I was thinking that was ridiculous, and McCormack as well going to Villa.
Hey, you go even further back. The Pope once got involved when Gigi Lentini went from Torino to AC Milan for I think 12 million, and the figure was considered, and I quote, obscene. So it was brought up by the Pope. I mean, now that kind of money is flying around League One, and it's just going to make it so hard to compete for other teams. I also don't really know how it all works out with what's it called now, PRS.
Apparently, in League One, you only have to show proof of funds. However, next year, PSR is getting brought in there.
PSR.
So you wonder if Birmingham have just gone, while we can, throw the fucking lot at it, because next year we'll be under regulation.
So this is PSR. That's not the thing you do with your tyres, is it? What does that stand for?
Proper sustainability rules.
That's
right. I know nothing about this side of things, and I'm going to keep it that way because that sounds boring as ass.
Yeah, it is. Because obviously Leicester City have got off with a points deduction now in the Premier League because they found a loophole in the jurisdiction that basically meant because they're in the Championship, they couldn't be tried as a Premier League club. So they were supposed to be getting a points deduction. Now they're not. So then, like, as a Leeds fan, I look at it and go, so we sold Archie Gray on the deadline for PSR so that we would comply with the year before. But really, we didn't need to because of the loophole that means we're an EFL club. So we didn't have to comply with the Premier League. Now, that loophole will obviously get closed, but it's just... it's just fucking crazy, isn't it? Let's be honest. You've got Chelsea building hotels and selling them to themselves. You've got Leicester finding loopholes. It's just,
teams
even
like
them
having to sell the best players. Obviously Newcastle managed to sell that Minter to Brighton and then Anderson as well. Just to obviously obviously not get
the money always finds a way.
Yeah, exactly. The QC of Leicester, Nick DiMarco, was like celebrated. Like he went, great to have done this for Leicester, and all fans of that going, you are that guy, Nick. You know what I mean? Like he was like,
we joked about
legend.
This. We joked about that, didn't we? That'll happen for Man City.
Yeah,
as well.
Exactly.
It's football's changed when you're talking about QCs and PSI, whatever it is. It's changed.
Yeah,
different ball game now, and it should just be out on the pitch. That's actually really why I've enjoyed watching a very, very, very lower league part-time Cypriot football, because it's the most. It's just so honest, and it's just 11 lads from a village kicking a ball about, and it's what I got into. It's just proper football.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Leicester on the weekend will have a tifo of Nick DiMarco, won't they? They were like, Nick DiMarco. Shirts with Nick DiMarco on the back. And
do you reckon all the promoted teams are coming back down, or do you reckon? I think in my prediction, Ipswich should stay up.
I think they could. I think
obviously Southampton, Leicester going down, I think.
Russell Martin won't change his ways, will he? So he'll just continue playing the same way.
I mean, against the loss obviously against 10-man Newcastle, and they had like 75% possession. Like,
that's what I mean.
But that's actually really similar. So he's wedded to his style, very similar to Danny Roll with Sheffield Wednesday. And I don't mean the style's exactly the same, but the fact that you just want to keep possession, you'll play it out from the back, you won't thump it long no matter what, and you try and work that ball forward into space. You have to, in a way, you have to respect that. That is an aesthetically pleasing way to play football.
Yeah, but
there will be, there'll be times
for us that it cost him his job. Just
staying
the same. Do you know what I mean?
Like, speaking from experience, like in terms of when we would get slapped up by Man City, or we get slapped up by Arsenal, or we get slapped up by Liverpool under Bielsa, I accepted it. As mad as that sounds, everyone outside of Leeds couldn't understand it, but I was like, but we're having a go, and I know that when we played the lesser teams, this style works. So we'll beat them. And we beat like Newcastle, like 5-2. We beat all these teams, but then people are going, yeah, but would you not just like, to try and get a result? And it's like, well, no, because we're wedded to this, and this is how we're going to go. However,
and it's entertaining. And football's meant to be entertainment, but we've forgotten that a long time ago.
Yeah. Like, look at Everton fans, for example, right? You go to the dicey way because it gets you results and keeps you in the league. When it stops getting you results, my God, it is absolutely brutal. Having to go see it, and it's still not, you can go where you can, at least we got 3 points. It were horrible, but we got 3 points. Now, it's like, this football's minging, and we're not getting anything from it. So, like, what's the point, What is the point?
Yeah.
It's mad.
It's like Burnley last season, isn't it, as well? Similar situation. That's obviously going to end up like Southampton as well this season. Unless
I got rinsed by Burnley fans for saying that they will carry on playing the same way under Vincent Kompany and they will get annihilated. And Johnny from one of our very good friends who does Shore and View, he said the same thing. He actually got more stick than me. But of course, it ended up being the way. And we predicted it. We saw it. He had to have changed his ways. You have to. You can't play like that. Deep line possession football against a team like Man City, going to carve you apart.
Yeah, and now he's got the Bayern job. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah. I don't know if you know Callum Fowler. I think his name is. He's quite a guy. I like watching his channel. He does some good videos, and obviously did that video on like how like literally just like playing aesthetically pleasing football can get a job, but not a result. Like getting the results.
Yeah. It's mad.
But I also don't think if Paul Heckingbottom had been the manager, playing exactly the same way, that Bayern Munich would have given him a job.
No. This past summer, if you somehow in some line of events spoke to Pep in the street, you were going to get a job. That's literally what's come. If you passed Pep and had a 5-minute convo, they were going to give you a job. I swear to God.
Do you know there was this thing in American football? There was this thing where the LA Rams appointed a very young coach, and he did really well and got into the Super Bowl. And then the theme became young coaches, and like everyone was right. We've got to get this Matt LaFleur guy because he's worked with these other guys that have done really well. It was trying to get the youngest, like he's 29. Let's get him. This guy's 26. Let's get him in as coach. And that was like the theme for a time. And you think about when we first started watching sport, managers were all like nearly 70. That was just how it was.
Managers like 31.
Yeah, I mean, it's all changed. I mean, that's Fabian Herzler is an excellent example and a really top manager. And I really wanted him to be Sheffield United's manager, and I did everything I could to make that happen.
And why didn't it, mate? Could you not get it over the line?
Couldn't get it over the line.
No. Stuck with Chris Wilder.
That was no. I mean, I obviously wanted Chris Wilder. That was way before that, a long time ago. Fabian Hertz has been on my radar for a while. So yeah, but Wilder we trust. He's a brilliant man, great manager.
they're smashing it, Brighton. To be fair, like, which I don't know. Do you take an interest in the Premier League? The Eric Ten Hag fallout? I can't lie. I've enjoyed that.
No.
It's been brilliant. Not interested at all.
I haven't watched any apart from I watched Brighton's games just to see how.
What do you mean, just like how bad they've done, or do you mean something else happened?
Yeah, no, it's poor, isn't it? Like they got absolutely slapped up by Liverpool, which as a Leeds fan, obviously we hate Manchester United, so it was very, very enjoyable, and it's been fun because I think every season Manchester United fans think they're back. You know, something's happened. They brought a certain player in, or
I mean, I look at the transfer and it's not being bad, but they're still not addressed the key issues, have they? Really, like again, and then obviously Ten Hag's not the man.
Well, I was in the pub today with a Man United fan, and he was just banging on about, oh God, it's so awful being a Man United fan. Eighth last season, and I was just sitting there listening to this while he's just going on about it. At one point, I was like, mate, we got relegated. That you are talking to a Sheffield United fan. I would dream of the problems you've got. In my lifetime, you've won everything. Shut up.
It's so true.
It's irritating, isn't it? I think they're bigger than they're arguably the biggest club on the planet, but still, they've got to change the mentality, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, agreed.
This is the thing that like top six, a lot of top six fans don't get, and especially top six fans that support a team that they like them because they play them on FIFA, is that we love and care about our club as much as they think they love and care about theirs, but they'll speak to us in a way with like, oh, well, like, who's your second team? Obviously, okay, so you support Sheffield United and Barnsley and Stockport, but who's your Premier League team? They can't understand that we want the exact same success for our team as they want for theirs, and we're just waiting longer.
Yeah, I remember there being a video of a football podcast and they were talking about QPR, and I was like, I don't know how people be QPR fans, man. You've got to be like, top. And I was like, what are you going on about, man? What are you going on about?
I remember
this is the thing. Yeah, same. I've got friends, right? I've got friends that are Manchester United fans. And I'll never forget when we got relegated. And one of my friends, Jordan, growing up said, are you going to stop supporting him now? I went, what? When they're being relegated? I went, are you mad? But these are different. They don't get it. They don't get it like that because Man United can lose a game to them. They can switch the TFD off. It's done. Leeds United lose a game. I'm fucking ruined for a few days. Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
I'm the same. Every time Blades lose, like my wife still doesn't understand that it affects me on a visceral level. It deeply wounds me when the Blades lose. Like I'm terrified. You've mentioned how excited you are about the game against Leeds. I'm terrified. And you know why I'm terrified. I grew up in Tadcaster. Majority of my friends support Leeds United. I hear about it a lot more in Leeds games than I do Wednesday games. I have no friends who support Wednesday. That's been a calculated life decision.
Yeah. Do you know, like, to tell you how much it sort of like affects me, when I separated with my ex, one of the things she said was, I fucking hate Leeds. I was like, oh, you killed me. but that shows you just how much it sort of like was ingrained, because she know I'm going to cut you deep now. And this is how she went, and I fucking hate Leeds. I was like, no.
Wow, there's no need.
No, exactly, man. I was like, that's it. If it weren't over now, it is. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry you went through that, mate.
I know, it was rough, mate. It was rough. But yeah, it's funny, man.
Do you know, I remember we beat Hull 3-2. David Unsworth scored late on. I remember Paddy Kenny was all dizzy and everything. It was like a cracking game to help us get promotion back in 2006. And I took an ex for a very first ever football game. We're on the back of the cop watching the Blades win. And she hated it. And I was like, if you hate this is the most exciting game, one of the most exciting I've ever been to. She hated it so much. When we got back to my place, we got out of the car, she threw my Sheffield United shirt, which I'd taken off. She threw it on the ground and walked over it. And that is it. I ended it right then and there. That I was like, okay, you didn't enjoy the game. Football's not your thing. That's fine. It's the thing I do with my mates anyway. I just thought I'd take you along. But when she did that, I was like, okay, I've seen who you really are. This is over.
Oh, yeah. After a 3-2 win as well.
She just hated it. She hated what she called lad humour.
I think you dodged a bullet there.
I think I dodged a
bullet.
bullet.
We had Jeremy Kyle chant from Hull City fans or something and didn't like it.
Probably. That was a very tense game as well, and it kicked off afterwards. You hated the whole thing. I loved it. I'm never more relaxed and more comfortable when I'm surrounded by the sense of violence. And when there's an element of this could go either way.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fighter. I'm not much of a lover either, but I'm incredibly quick. And I will get out of that. I will get out of that situation, but I quite like seeing it happen.
Yeah, it's bad. Boys, before we finish up, let's just talk about the championship. Is there anyone outside of our teams that we're looking at that we're worried about? Like, I've seen what's happened at Burnley. I'm never convinced by Scott Parker, although he always manages to be there or thereabouts. We've got the start of Sunderland under Reggie Labrie. West Brom, Carlos Corberán working wonders again. That's what he does. Is there anyone like Tom? You were here last season. I think this division is so much weaker than last year. What do you make to that? Because obviously we had Leicester running away with it, Ipswich, Southampton up there, ourselves chasing.
I mean, if you class Ipswich in there, you had the 4 big hitters at the top, obviously. Yeah. Ipswich, Southampton, Leeds, Leicester, and then you already knew that was going to be. Yeah. Obviously, when we got quite a bit into the season, you already knew that Leicester, Southampton, and Leeds will be up there. And obviously, Ipswich was there as well. But this season, it's a bit more. I know Sunderland had a start like house on fire, but I still think there's
Preston didn't Preston win 6 on the spin last season, Tom? Or undefeated?
I think they started off really well and then tailed off. But I do think, I still think Sunderland will get like playoffs or being around it. But I don't think they can keep up this same momentum. I mean, obviously lost Jack Clark now, so whether that'll affect them a lot.
Yeah, and the top 6 could be anybody's. I think really Middlesbrough. You've mentioned Sunderland. You've got the 3. Well, not Luton. Fucking hell, I don't know what's going on there. But you've got Burnley, Sheffield United, Leeds. Do you fancy yourselves for a top 6? I know it's not started great, but it is only 4 games, Tom.
I hate to be like the negative person. I don't see us getting anywhere near the playoffs. I think we'll be mid-table this season at best. To not address the issues, I think if you look at our squad last season compared to now, it's
totally different. Isn't it? Yeah.
I think Walter needs. I think obviously Walter's going to get time, but still need to see a bit more. I think before I make a proper judgment. But I think
Tyler Morton as well. Tyler Morton was so good for you.
Yeah, we take obviously we got Lost Seri as well, but that was more like his contract's running out next summer, so we had to get rid of him. And he was a massive player because he was the one that made it tick in there. And obviously, given his age, it's like couldn't really afford to keep him with his wages. I think he was on like 30 grand a week or something. So it's ridiculous, really. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously I'd love a playoff push, but really,
Alzati could be that extra bit of spark.
Yeah, it's just the goals really. Beattie is unproven, obviously at this level. Then obviously Bairstow struggled last season. I mean, I still think he can kick on with us, but it's whether we can get them goals in. Because I think defensively we're not too bad at that. And I think in front of the defence, Zambrano played really well against Leeds on his second start. So, yeah.
What about you, Hal? What do you reckon? What was it like after, when you went up with Burnley and Luton? What do you make to the quality? Because genuinely, last season the top teams were all plus 90 and Southampton got 87. So I don't think we're going to see a season where 4 teams are getting 90,
Now, this is the season for Leeds to get promotion. This is the weakest championship for a while. I do think of the teams that are down there, Luton Town and Cov will still have a big say in this season. I really think Luton will be fine. I like the manager. Yeah. I like Cov's manager as well. I mean, Martin Robbins, one of the most underrated managers outside the Premier League. Yeah. Sunderland, I was at the pub today with loads of fans. Another one was a Sunderland fan, and they were all wearing the Sunderland shirts, just constantly saying top of the league, top of the league. That kind of confidence, you love to see it. Sunderland, a big club. I didn't predict that they'd be anywhere near the top, and I do think they'll fall away. But their start has to be applauded, has to be respected. I mean, they've only conceded 1 goal. That is how you win titles. You win titles by being solid at the back, and if you can nick a goal, brilliant. But they've also scored 10. So they look like they're doing everything right. But it probably isn't sustainable.
And it only takes 1 loss, doesn't it? And then can you come back from that? And
that's what happened with Watford. They were going into the game against us really confident. All wins. Win. Coming up against us, we made them look ordinary, and there was no way you'd have looked at that. If you were an alien and watched your first ever game of football, you'd have known which of those two sides was far more likely to win the league, and it certainly wasn't Watford.
You just look at Sunderland's midfield, don't you? Like, obviously Bellingham, Neil, and that Chris Riggs.
Chris Riggs, very good. Yeah,
like,
he's only young though, isn't he?
Yeah, class midfield. I think like they've not really addressed the striker situation, but I think that Mayenda's started off quite well. So,
yeah, be interesting to see how they do. Like you say, I live in Sunderland, so they are getting a bit giddy. I can't lie to you, they are getting a bit giddy, but it's still early days. And I just keep saying to people who watch my show, like saying, look, Preston, they were top front and centre for the first 6 games, and they nearly got bloody relegated. So I won't get too giddy yet. I think
Alan Brown though, good acquisition.
Yeah, I don't know how
it's worth noting with Sunderland. Like, they've not really played any of the big dogs. I know they played Burnley, but that was before the transfer window shut, and Burnley had lost loads of players, and obviously I think
they were bad that day as well, because I'd been to Newcastle with my little people, and we were on the metro on the way back, and we go past on the metro. There's a metro for Stadium of Light, and like 4 or 5 lads got on, and my son was like, just like, because he's autistic, he was just staring at him. So the guy went, "Do you want some Burnley blood? Do you?" And then I had to step it, just joking. And I said, "Oh no, he's Leeds anyway." And they were like, "Dirty Leeds." We started having a chat. And then they said they were so bad, like really, really bad. Like after that first game, they were bemoaning Jay Rodriguez getting 40 grand a week and stuff. And I looked at some of their business. Jadon Anthony, Sarmiento, it's very Championship.
I think Sarmiento is a good signing.
He's a good option, but I don't know if he's going to start there. I don't know, but he's a good
we were
option.
linked to him and Mikey Johnston. And if I'd had a choice, I'd rather had Sarmiento. Really? Anyway, we ended up not getting either of them.
Johnston,
is he still at Celtic?
West Brom? He went to West Brom.
He's gone to West Brom, yeah. So from Celtic, of course, he had a loan spell at West Brom before. He's very much a one-trick pony. And I think once you figure him out, and obviously defences will very quickly, I'm not sure he's the answer. Not long term. And he would have required a long contract on a good wage at his age.
Yeah, it's not the answer long term, but in the Championship, he's more than good enough, Hal. I think he'd have got.
Well, we didn't get him now, and there's no West Brom fans on this channel, so who cares?
True. Tell you, we did get Manor Solomon on loan, and if he can stay fit, such a good player. Such a good player.
Signing that.
And like Tom said earlier, I've said this to people. I said, Louis Cole's been around for over a decade now. He's a grizzled, hardened Championship fullback. He knows what he's doing. So Solomon will have so much more easier days in this division, and he'll beat men. It's like he was wrestling him at times, Coyle, but he knows the dark arts. He's got that little bit of experience.
He's unreal in 1v1 situation.
Yeah. So he'll come up, against young Alfie Gilchrist in a couple of weeks and put him on toast. So
Coyle scored our only goal from open play this season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll see how he does against Alfie Gilchrist, who is the new John Terry and is being forced to play at right back. Yeah, he is a centre back, ostensibly. It will be.
I know all this because we were linked, and I was like, "Listen, he's a centre back, John Terry, the new John Terry." Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's a centre back.
All this. Yeah, you've bought well. You've bought well, mate. But I think from the end of the season, you'll be in playoffs. I've got a sneaky suspicion. I think Burnley will get second, even though they're shit. But Scott Parker gets second.
Scott Parker does get promotion, but then what do you do?
The last 3 completed seasons, Farker's got 90-plus points in each 3. 2 at Norwich, 1 at Leeds. This season, 90 points gets you up. I don't even think you need 90. So
I think you're right.
I think we'll be all right. We've got Burnley, though. First game back on international break, so that's a real tough test.
Hull next.
Massive.
At Hull.
Yeah. It's a difficult place to go. Do you want to give us your early thoughts, lads, before we finish?
I think it's going to be, like I said, the international break for us has come at a perfect time in terms of embedding the players in. So I think you're going to see a little bit of a different team to what you've seen so far in terms of like more of an understanding of the football. I think new signings will be embedded in more. So I can see us nicking a point, to be honest.
I mean, I'm much higher on Hull than you are. I think that they're going to push for like just outside the playoffs, maybe even get in the playoffs. I did say at the start of the season, I've got to stick to my guns. This is the exact opposite of what you've just said. This has come at a terrible time for us. We've just won a game. We're playing really good football. We've got players now who are traveling all over the world. Like, I mean, Harry Suter playing against Bahrain. He doesn't need those miles clocking up. He needs to be playing with the lads on the training ground. Because it's time for us to gel. This is a lot of new players that have come in, and unfortunately, we've got quite a few players away, and even younger players as well. So, no, for us, it's a bad time for a break. I'd rather just ride on that crest of a wave and go straight to Hull, a place that we've done successfully well many years in a row. I've seen us win at Hull so many times, old stadium and new.
I don't remember last. I think last time we beat was like 2018.
Been a while, yeah.
I know what you mean in terms of them players. I mean, it's the price you have to pay for having a good team, but all of ours have gone. Tanaka bloody played against China today for Japan. We've got players all over. And I don't think Burnley have that many, in all honesty, with the squad they've got left. So might actually go their way. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think the biggest bombshell on today's show was the fact that Tom said we don't have
attractive fans. Was that what it said? Hull have no attractive fans.
I just seen Go Hull, and it just brought it all back to me of Hull and him saying that. It made me chuckle.
Well, I'll just say Sheffield United and Leeds fans are beautiful men and the women.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, folks, make sure you check out Sheffield United Way and to Hull and Back and all the rest of the contributors that are normally here, but they've all turned it in because it's the international break. But just to bring you some news, Rotherham did beat Huddersfield, so happy days. I'm buzzing for Matt. They actually tasted victory this year. So next Thursday, before we prepare for the games returning, we'll let him have his moment over Cossie, because Cossie's been getting a bit giddy, winning games and stuff. So
Malik Wilkes scored the winner as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Oh, right. We will have to remember to go back to that. We will have to go back to that. And I need to also have a pop at Ash, because we beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 as well, quite comfortably.
I enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. Yeah. People were saying to me, like, oh, who do you want to win? Like, you must hate both. I was like, Leeds. Not even a decision. Not even a question. Leeds 100 times.
100%. What if it was to... It's the end of the season.
Have you thought this through, Joe? Do you know where this is going?
Yeah. Okay. No, I have. You're in third. We're in second. And if we beat Wednesday, you steal the playoffs. However, if Wednesday beat us, you get the top two. Surely you...
Well, obviously in that scenario, but that's a stupid scenario and it'll never happen.
Okay, fair enough. Probably not. On that bombshell that Hallie's a secret Sheffield Wednesday fan, we shall...
Didn't say that. Do not like that.
Anyway, see you later, folks. Enjoy the rest